What's up, guys? Alright, I'm here with another new video, and as y'all can see to this video, bro, we're gonna be talking about John Wall, and he's being traded. Now, look, I'm not gonna lie, the title is a little bit clickbait, but it's really not, because eventually John Wall will be traded, but it is kind of, in a sense, it's clickbait, but look, stay on the video, I promise you. I have 3 trades set up that makes so much sense that people have not even been thinking about. And the trades that I came up with, it makes no sense that people don't think this is gonna happen. And then I try to tell somebody and they looking at me like I'm dumb. Like, come on, bro. But look, before we get into all that, just want to say, John Wall's a great player. I'm not bashing John Wall in any way, but we have to, before we get into this video, I'm just saying that, hey, I'm valuing John Wall is at where his value is currently, and his value isn't John Wall back in 2018. That's just the truth, and that's just what you got to go by, and that's what you have to. That's the term that you have to go by, and he's not that guy anymore. So the value that you're gonna get back for trading John Wall, or even the value that you're gonna give up for getting a great player for John Wall, it's got to be for the Rockets. It's just, Rockets fans guys gotta get behind it. But yeah, let's go ahead. So the first trade that we have to talk about is the John Wall to the Philadelphia 76ers setup. Now, off rip, I thought about this and I was like, hey, if the Rockets end up trading for Ben Simmons, a John Wall Ben Simmons deal, it'll be very disappointing for our Rockets fans, and I really would be disappointed because you could have traded James Harden for Ben Simmons. So, you could have traded James Harden for Ben Simmons and got some out of that, and then you go trade John Wall for Ben Simmons. And it's like, for them, they're gonna be disappointed in that. I would be disappointed, and you would say, why? You're getting more value out of James, or out of trading John Wall instead of. But here's the thing. What they did was they traded James Harden to the Nets, versus you could have traded James Harden to the 76ers. I'll be disappointed because they didn't really set James Harden up for what he really needed and what he really wanted. They traded him to the team that I feel like it was all really kind of set up. I feel as though Harden wanted to go to Philadelphia more, and they didn't trade him there. And as a Rockets fan, if I was a Rockets fan, I would want James Harden to go to the team that he, without a doubt, wants to go to, and they didn't do that. So that's just, I mean, maybe because you only have to trade John Wall for Ben Simmons, but in my opinion, I feel like it's really disappointing. And for the Philadelphia 76ers side of it, it's really, really disappointing because they decided not to trade. they decided not to trade Ben Simmons for James Harden, and now they might trade him for John Wall. And I've seen rumors about this trade, so you guys have a feel what the trade's going to be. So let's go ahead and start off with the number 1 trade. The number 1 trade is Ben Simmons for John Wall. Straight up deal, but obviously the 76ers are going to want something a little more. So it'll be, they're going to get a little something, but it's nothing too crazy because I didn't want to make this they're not gonna trade KPJ, or Jalen Green and John Wall for Ben Simmons. So I'm trying to keep it realistic here. I think they could trade 2 picks with it. I feel like that's fair. It's fair. It's not too much. So that's the first trade. Ben Simmons for John Wall and 2 picks. And me personally, I believe that trade makes sense. For the Philadelphia 76ers, they get a point guard. They get to play with them off rip. John Wall's not playing for his team. Ben Simmons not playing for his team. So they both get to go to a team where they can mainly, have the ball in their hands and do their own thing respectfully. Now, the only thing with Ben Simmons' trade is that I don't believe he'll be able to play point guard because they have KPJ. They have Jalen Green. Maybe you could just run Ben Simmons to someone for let him bring the ball up the court. I'm not opposed to that. But they do have a lot of guard play currently, so I don't know how that all works out. But I do like this trade, and I do think this works a lot. Now for the second trade for John Wall, this one's actually in a trade. This is a John Wall does get bought out by the Houston Rockets. I don't really know because it's kind of like, well, you're taking on a $40 million contract, but then on the flip side, it's like his contract's not going to be that long, and then you get rid of him, you're in a rebuilding team, just let that happen. It's not like you trying to go sign a superstar right now. So currently, I do feel as though they could buy him out, and I do believe this is a buyout type of deal, where you buy out John Wall and he goes straight to the Clippers pick him up. And I said, 3 trades, but I might put in the title John Wall traded, but this is just 3 destinations for John Wall is what I'm trying to get at. So I think that him going to the Clippers makes a lot more sense than most teams, because if you look at the Clippers, they have some of the greatest point guard play that's never been there. Like, they literally, like, the last time they had a good point guard was Chris Paul, and before that, like, it has been like I said, they've had some of the greatest point guard play to never be there. They've never, like, it sucks. Like, they really suck. Like, when it comes down to it, guard play, the Clippers suck. They have some of the worst guard play I've ever seen from an NBA team. They could use a John Wall. John Wall, maybe in particularly, isn't the best playmaker, but he does rack up a lot of assists, and I believe that he may be a better fit than Westbrook may have been with the Clippers, just because his ego is a little bit lower. He's still going to play good defense, and he's going to get those assists. His ego is just a tad bit lower. He doesn't demand the ball as much, and he's not going to sell the game as much. Final thought for a trade. See, this one I had to think a lot about, because I don't really, it was like, at first I was like, yeah. Next, I was like, nah. This trade is sending John Wall over to the Boston Celtics. And this in particular deal, I believe that it could work out very well. I believe this could be a deal that can actually happen. It can make a lot of sense. So, you think about John Wall to the Boston Celtics, you think about Al Horford, he has a big contract. So, it would be something involving Al Horford off rip. So, the trade would be Al Horford for John Wall. And I believe, and maybe on the screen, I'm showing the picture anyway, but maybe I'll have to like put something else in there. But I believe like the core part of the trade will be John Wall for Al Horford, and I believe that could work. Like I said, I showed the picture on the screen. It'll be the full trade that I can actually do something with. It may be another piece that I have to put in there, or maybe a Dennis Schroeder may get put in there. But I believe that's a trade that could go down and can make a lot of sense. If you look at for the Boston Celtics, they need a point guard right now. They need a guy without a high ego. And I was saying this last season. I did a video like this last year, and I think it was this year, but I was talking about how I wanted John Wall to go to the Boston Celtics because his ego's not too high, and he's not gonna be doing all this extra stuff. He's gonna get on the court and go do his thing, and that's what you want. You don't want a guy like John Wall to be out there trying to put up 25 points when you have Tatum and Brown on your team. You want a guy that can be a leader, get assists, but also attack when you need it, and that's what I like to see from John Wall if he does go to the Boston Celtics. And for Al Horford going to the Houston Rockets fans, I know you don't want that contract, but it's better than Wall's. And you can just sit him on a bench. He can be a really good mentor to some of your bigs. It's not a bad idea in my opinion. Al Horford's been through a lot, so he can be more of a mentor than John Wall can, because John Wall, I know he can be a good mentor to Jalen Green or KPJ, but most great players aren't going to be good mentors when they're still great players and they're sitting on the bench. So that's just where I'm coming from with this. But look, that's where we're getting this video off, man. I feel like I gave y'all a few good trades. I did a little clickbait. I've never clickbaited before. This is not me necessarily clickbaiting. This is just me getting you to click onto the video. And technically, I didn't lie. I said John Wall is getting traded. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe the thumbnail. But all in all, I did not technically lie. So look, let's get into it, man. If you like this video, man, like the video, bro. Comment, subscribe. Make sure you just go follow my Instagram at Cardamom, man. Show some love over there, man. I'm trying to talk very fast, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to be like Fight Reacts. Y'all know how you do that like fast outro. I'm getting there. But yeah, make sure you go follow my Instagram. I'll be posting over there all the time. Photos, videos, whatever it is. We're only at 150 followers on my Instagram, so if you follow my YouTube, go follow my Instagram. And if you follow my Instagram and you saw this video from my Instagram and you're not subscribed, subscribe. And yeah, it's gonna be me, man. See you.